All right. Well, we'll try to get started here if we can.
I'll share the agenda.
Thank you. It's been a busy day for me, so I have to excuse me a little bit here. Budget hearings and stuff. Basically, for the first part of this meeting, if I remember the agenda correctly, yes. Oh, well, yeah, we were going to do introductions, and if everybody was happy with the agenda from the past meeting, but let's go ahead and do introductions. Let's start in our office here.
One addition that we probably need to make us talk about Haley's.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do that right here. Yeah. So lean forward a little bit, Mike. There you go.
I started.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mike Idam. I'm the new professional development chair, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, really happy that you're here and actually made the trip.
Sure.
Oh, sweet. There you go.
Mike, are you from Helena?
I am. Yeah. Got a little bit of a late start this morning, but
You don't have to put yours on now if you don't want to, but.
Yeah,
No, I showed up there, yeah. Yeah, just, I forgot mine. They also have a state library one too. We like to use those at the conferences.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely like any outreach opportunities that you have where you're representing Magip, so.
yeah,
Like probably around GIS day, we'll probably have a meetup in Helena, so.
they're staff proof too.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I'm Mike Powell. I'm new president of Magip. First meeting, and obviously we've already had major hiccups, and there will be others hiccups that have happened already that we will discuss shortly. Yeah, looking forward to this year, and hopefully serving Magip the best I can.
Hey, Michelle, I think you guys all know me.
Jeff Sprock's a new vice president. I'm glad to be here, especially after last week. It was a little touch and go here in Billings a week ago this time, but the river's gone down and we didn't have too much damage. City of Billings, just the L structure at the water plant was underwater. We had to shut the water plant down for about a day, but other than that, the city's pretty well intact. So
yeah.
Jeff Festrom, most of you know me as well, past president, so this is kind of a interesting experience. The first meeting I haven't had it run in a year, so kind of nice actually.
So Mike and Jeff and Jeff.
Yeah, we got two Mike and Jeff, so.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm glad Mike was able to be here in person, and yeah. This should be a good year. Looking forward to a conference, obviously, in Bozeman, and Billings conference 2024. So,
yeah. All right, Eric.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Spangenberg. I'm with Lewis and Clark County in the City of Helena GIS office, and I am, I guess I'm the MLIAC rep to the Magip board. So, and that was just.
Did they approve that? No?
They didn't have a meeting. Their meeting was canceled. So I guess I'm your interim member until such time as they decide to approve my attendance or not. So.
So they were taking action on that last week then? They were supposed to? I mean,
yeah.
You were supposed to.
You're through, I think you're still through for December for as far as I know.
Well, for
your
the
name
rep.
is on the website this morning, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who's
Yeah. It's, I think as far as as for voting concerns, Aaron, you got a vote on this. So
yeah,
that's also another thing too.
okay.
This is the first meeting that our the new bylaw will go into effect with the Emily Act.
Right.
Rep.
yeah.
So.
Right.
And yeah, and I, along those lines, I'd reached out to Jenny and Aaron just to get an idea for how wanted the MLEAC rep to, I guess, rep MLEAC on Magip and things like that. So, you know, I tried to visit with them. Apparently Jenny's in DC and Aaron's sick. So I didn't get any good answers regarding their fee increases. Personally, I'm in favor of any due increases that we vote on. So I'm going to vote on my personal side of things. And if MLEAC doesn't like how I voted, then they can kick me off. So.
There you go. Put your foot down. Yeah. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I am Nate Wold. I am the treasurer of Magip. I began about a year ago now, and I'm based here in Helena with the DNRC. So.
Doing a bang up job too with the budget. Yeah, absolutely. Which obviously we're going to be having a big discussion about here shortly. Who else is on the?
Aaron.
Aaron. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey all, yeah, Aaron Vaughn here, BOD secretary, doing the minutes, as it were. I've been on for about a year, and yeah, and if, by the way, if we have any guests on this, it'd be nice to get the names so I can put them on the minutes. But yeah, good to see the new members.
We don't at the meantime there, Aaron, but I'll let you know if anybody checks in.
Cool.
So I think we pretty much got everyone. I think so.
That is pretty much everybody.
So Rob is absent.
Well, Rob sent an email. He will be attending a little later.
Okay, Haley's obviously absent.
And Haley.
Who else is on the board? That
That is it.
Okay.
We need to, well, let's first just approve them. Has everybody got a chance to look at the minutes from last month? If so, do they have any questions, any revisions? If not,
Aaron, one thing though, Aaron though, I did see that the drive minutes were missing. But it got uploaded to the website though. I guess I won't comment about that.
Which minutes, sorry?
The May minutes were missing off of the drive location for the minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'll make sure. Yeah,
I
I
think
did.
you just uploaded it straight to the website, which is fine for our public side of things.
Yeah, cool. No, I'll load it
Yeah.
in there.
And then speaking of minutes, Aaron, can you hear the other side of the room fine for the recording?
Here, the other
can you
side
hear the
being,
towel?
Can you hear me talking, Aaron? Right
Yeah.
now? Talking about-
I can.
Okay, perfect. That's also.
That's good.
Okay, perfect.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, so we would definitely want to get that on the drive there, Aaron, if we could do that. And then everybody's agreement of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve them?
I will do a motion to approve May's minutes.
Second.
I can second.
Nate seconds it. All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, you could read the minutes, so.
Oh, I didn't.
You go.
Are you abstaining then?
Yeah, any approved, yeah, any opposed?
Not opposed.
Okay. All right, so those are approved. So we'll go on to our next business item. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to add something to the agenda right now. I think it would be best time to do it right now. As we all know, Robert is not here right at the moment, but he will be here shortly whenever he's done with what he's doing. The other person that we're missing is Haley, who is our conference liaison. She has sent us a letter to resign her position. She is not getting the support needed. Well, she just got a new job and it's kind of making it really difficult for her to come out and do things, makeup wise, while she's trying to do a new job. So she has respectfully resigned the position. And so I went out and talked to her competition in the voting process at the election, which was Brandon Wiltshire.
Did you get home today?
I did talk to him today. He unfortunately is also moving on. He is Stillwater, he works for Stillwater County at the moment, and he is, the job has been posted for his position. He's moving on and he's moving out of state. So he will not be able to accept that position as well. So we are short a person now. That is a bummer. And I'm a little not sure what we do on this.
So, I did send an email about this morning, or my,
Yep, about the bylaws.
let me find our governing documents.
So does it become a vacancy now?
Well, according to the bylaws, we can appoint somebody from the membership.
Yeah,
To
that's what I
a
was gonna get
vacancy,
to.
yeah, without them being,
Bylaws are on the right there.
Yes,
yeah, without them having to actually be voted
Right.
in,
yeah. So we can take our time on this, because I think it should be a good fit. We shouldn't just take anyone for the membership, so.
Oh, I agree with that. I think that we need to, we probably need to put something out to the membership saying we have a vacancy. Is there anybody interested?
2 vacancies, don't you?
What's that?
Don't you have 2 vacancies? I mean, if Haley's gone, or she was just a conference liaison?
Yeah, she was just a conference liaison, and we reached out to the person, Brandon, who was against her in the elections, but lost.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
thought-
okay, so it's just the one person. Okay, that's right.
Right.
Never mind.
Brendan would have probably been like our first immediate replacement for.
Right.
For replacement.
although it'd be nice to find some female representation.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so at the moment, we're an all guys board, but
Yes.
we're not
Same-
we're not an
same.
all, we're not an all guys club, though. We want to make our membership clear
Is
that,
Megan not on board in
no.
No, Megan's just a,
Ex officio.
like, yeah.
that? You are an all guys board. Haley got scared. She's like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think that would have done it.
Yeah, so if you guys, if anybody's aware, I mean, I'll put something out probably the next couple of days here. But if you guys have any ideas of anybody that'd be interested, that would be wonderful. Let me know.
Could we look at anyone else who ran for other positions this past election and lost?
Yeah, so I was gonna say,
You know?
Who?
Garen Wally.
Garen? Yeah, that would be the only other one. Is he from the state?
No, he's city of Missoula.
Oh. I mean, we can certainly reach out to him.
Yeah.
See if he'd be interested.
Yeah, I think he was specifically interested in the,
Membership going. Okay.
like I said, it probably should come down to fit than who else ran, you know. So
Yeah,
just, I mean, just because like, especially since this conference liaison position is so new to this board, I think it's, and not to minimize any other positions, but it does actually serve a very, very important role.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And because not only are you representation for the board, but also kind of running the meetings for the, or a key component to run the conference committee too.
Right.
Meetings. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. So anyway, yeah, if you guys know of anybody, let me know. I'm gonna, I'll put something out on the Magip board, to the members. Asking.
But yeah, it'll actually probably come down to, probably trying to rope some elbows with a couple of people. I doubt anybody responds if you do send out the membership, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta try that first.
Correct, yeah, I think that's the right thing to do, but I think it's probably gonna have to come down to one person I had in mind. I think his name's Eric. I know City of Bozeman was looking for representation on our board and would fit really well with, since the conference will be there next year. Cause I talked with Gail, the city, GIS city, GIS manager for City of Bozeman. And they're looking to have somebody at least, within the because they're obviously gonna have a huge presence, on the conference committee, but I think they're, yeah, so I think he's the GIS specialist, but yeah, so, maybe I'll reach out to Gail again and see if, he'd be a good fit for that role, but, I guess my issue with, you know, if we do put Garen in that position, you know, he's from Missoula and
Oh, I like
the next
that
two
idea.
conferences are Bozeman, Billings,
Yeah.
so I think geographics does play into this a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, we can certainly reach out to Garen and see if we can be interested. There's obviously gonna be, you know, we have to get him up to speed with the conference and stuff.
Right. No, I don't know if we, like you said, I don't, I'm not really a fan of that, reaching out to him,
Okay,
because he was more interested, from what you're saying, or more interested in the membership thing.
Yeah.
We'll send something out to the membership, and then, you reach out to Bozeman.
I'll talk to Gail and
Gail.
see if, Eric underneath within that program, because I think that would fit well. And Bozeman's gonna have a big presence, City Bozeman's gonna have a big presence in planning that conference.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so that's where we leave that at.
So yeah, I don't think there's any voting that we have to do on that. I do want to reflect for the membership or the minutes that Haley resigned.
Yeah, you might want to mention that, Aaron.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
minute.
So, but we don't have
Yeah, I got it
to
down.
run anything at that. Honestly, if we get her replacement by next month, that would be something, that would be an action item for next month, so.
So we don't have
Yeah.
to accept the resignation vote.
And the runner-up
We could
couldn't do it either.
You wanna do that just for the?
Accept her resignation,
Yeah, we can do that.
or just say no, we don't.
That's generally,
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll make a motion to recognize and accept the resignation, for Haley in the conference liaison position, so.
no, I'll second that.
Sure. All approved? Or-
Aye.
Say aye.
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 Anybody against that? Aaron, I'll send you the letter, just so you may have it. I don't know if you want to throw it in the minutes of her resignation letter, or it was just an email, but
Yeah, I can
I'll send
do
that to
it.
you. You want to attach that to the,
Yeah, that'd be good.
No problem.
all right, all right, so I guess we can move on to, and I didn't print out that email. What you just sent out, Michelle, about the conference. I'm not really sure, all three of these things, the membership fees, oh, you did. Membership fees, the conference liaison, or not the conference liaison, I'm sorry, communication specialist / liaison, or the budget is all basically tied together. So I guess we can start with talking about the PIO. Her name is Alicia. Did you send that out to her? Oh, you just.
I think I just sent it to you and Jeff.
Okay.
I can send it to everybody.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, Michelle sent out of what the going rate is for it. Yeah, did you send that to Nate? So the prices on the budget were right on to cover that,
I don't know, I sent,
because we said
I
4,700.
guess, let me see what you're looking at. Oh, no, I sent, this morning I just sent her a little bio sketch.
Oh, right.
The rate I had sent a few weeks ago, and I can't remember what I
Yeah,
sent it to.
I doubt that was, attached to the agenda, so I didn't know that was the agenda.
You did? Okay. Oh, that's what this is. Oh, okay.
Was it yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were still good with the 4,700, that was gonna cover her?
Yeah, that's what Michael and I talked about adding in, because we have she's our new communications person and she does work for other associations, so that was our estimate for the year, for a yearly.
Right.
And then it would include, you know, I sent the bio sketch of all her skill set and all the things she could do.
So I guess we'd like to discuss what we actually want her to do.
Rob's gonna be coming up for sure on the chair, just like that.
Oh, is he coming on here?
Hey there, Rob. Thank you. Can you hear us? Shows us how it's on. Okay. I guess we'll just keep that. So.
All right, and these are just a few things. I feel that the second item there, are we gonna go with the what with full scope? And Aisha. Alicia.
Mhm.
Do we need to decide that today though?
If we're gonna go with that or not.
Yeah, we're
Just to do a discussion.
yeah.
Yeah, this is just a discussion on that. I personally feel that we should probably just go with this for the first year. I think it'd be a good idea to go with this. Have somebody from full scope. We already have the contract. Basically, we probably have to amend a few things on the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the complications of doing it the other way is we would probably need a full job description, which we're probably gonna have at least partial of that anyway, that would be going out to the membership.
Right.
You know,
right,
and then if we get multiple candidates doing interviews.
right. So I really feel that this is our best option at this time. Go with that. Does anybody have anything else to say about that at all, or with the whole point of going full scope at all?
It's like a consulting firm that
Yep.
does
That's what Michelle
public
does.
relations.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do association management and we've recently hired a communications person on our team, just because we were finding that a lot of the associations we work for kind of need that component. And so we hired her on to be the communications person for us, for the associations we work with.
Okay.
And one of the, because you guys had all talked about maybe possibly starting to do a newsletter, which I think is a great idea, which you can do through Wild Africa. So she would be able to help work with, she's not a GIS person, but she's a communications person. So she would work with you all to get content to design and create and circulate a newsletter to your membership. And then she can also manage the social media
Right.
or work with your team, whoever your team is, to help. Like if you feed her content, she can get your social media out. And then the other thing she could do is, you know, if Megan needs help with the website, or she could be that backup person if she wants to take some of that load off of Megan, she can help with the website stuff too.
So the 4,700 is for 1 year and it's like 20 hours a week or 10, like kind of varies obviously.
Yeah, I think it was based on 8 to 10 hours a month. Is
Okay.
what we.
Yeah, do you have those numbers, Nate? Was it what we said?
Is it 2 hours?
You're on mute, Nate.
I can't remember. It's
Yeah, I think it was based on 2 hours a week, and I can't remember the dollar amount per hour, but it was around 45.
It's like $45.
Yeah, okay.
Which we pay a communications officer for another association I work for, like a freelance, and she's like $95 an hour. Like if you, I mean, they're not cheap.
Yeah, and just off of that sentence there, I would even more want to go with this round than
Yeah, 4680, so we just wrapped up to 4700.
right.
Do you want to send us her resume?
Yeah,
Just so we can kind of get some information about her.
I think I just sent it to you and Mike.
Yeah, she sent us a little bio on it.
Oh, okay.
I just
okay.
sent it this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't check the emails this morning, so.
But I can send it to the rest of you.
Yeah, it'd be good to send it back, send it to the rest of the board.
If I don't right now, I'll make sure I send it out.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
No, but yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so the idea is to facilitate communication for or continue to, or build on the communication tools that are already out there, expand on social media and just increase the outreach of the organization.
Basically, yes, I would say yes, definitely expand and manage social media is a big part, and that newsletter definitely would be
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about, or you all have talked about before, you have so many, you do so many great things and have so many stories to share,
Yeah.
but they just don't, I think they get shared maybe at a really close knit local level, but,
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I was just mentioning to the city of Billings folks too, like we have a mentorship program too,
Oh, yeah.
but it doesn't really get highlighted anywhere, because but like within our newsletter or within our social media, it'd be good places to kind of bring that stuff back up, that it make up actually just more about our conference. So,
yeah, and she could create like a social media calendar so that it just kind of keeps, so that she's, because you guys all get busy with your daily work, so
Yeah.
she can prompt you like, hey, it's time for, need some content,
Sure.
anybody have a story, or, she would just kind of be able to keep everybody on track, I guess.
Well, I totally good with that. Anybody else online, got any thoughts?
Yeah, I just remember, like a year or two ago, I remember Jeff sending out just those monthly highlights, GIS highlights, and I think that'd be great, something great to continue with this communications person. And yeah, I'm wondering, to keep feeding her content, do we need to kind of assign that to someone on the board to make sure she is getting the content she needs, or?
That's a good point.
Yeah, you almost need like a communications liaison too. And that would be the person kind of
Yeah,
really, and that person really wouldn't need to do that much, but that would be a person that she could, so you're not filtering it through me.
Right.
I'm going, hey, Alicia, she would be able to, somebody
Go
that
to
she
a
would
point
be able to work with directly on your board.
Mike?
Yeah, I could do that.
I mean, we'd have to, well, I think I read somewhere. Can't remember where I read that. That maybe that had something to do with part of your membership thing.
Yeah. I think part of my role is like the quarterly newsletter or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's been done recently or.
not really. So yeah, I mean, if you can just do the coordination
Yeah.
with the full scope person, Alicia.
Alicia, yeah, she actually lives in Georgia, so you could just do Zoom, you guys could talk over the phone or Zoom, and
yeah, and I can certainly help with that too, just especially when I was vice president, did a lot more of that social media content for Magip, and kind of just got lost last year because obviously with being president, first time dad, like
Yeah.
the one thing I kind of kicked out, I was just like, okay, make up social media. Not that it's not important, but I'm just like, gosh, something's gotta, something's getting pushed off my plate, so.
well, and I think if she could meet with maybe the two of you in
Yeah.
the beginning and just set up have a communications plan for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be with all of them. Well, that brings me back to my next point here. Do we want her to attend our meetings?
well, we probably need to work on some sort of social media policy too. I think that was one thing that was in our,
I just wonder if we need like not a job description, but almost something like a job description, or maybe.
yeah, we definitely need something like purpose that will role, yeah.
Help us communicate to her
Yeah.
expectations.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful, like what are the expectations, and then what is your overall, what's your overall goal, like what are you trying to achieve? And maybe, you're just setting one or two goals for right now, and then you can grow upon that, but at least
Right.
have some kind of a plan,
No, or,
I personally don't think she needs to attend meetings. Maybe, kind of like what we do with Tommy, with quarterly updates.
yeah, I would think that
Quarterly update.
yeah, I would like to see her. Not at maybe every meeting, but yeah, once in a while, so quarterly meetings, I would think that would be a good idea.
I guess my only thing is, if you have her attend a meeting, maybe you have her attend a meeting for a specific time. I'd hate at $45 an hour. You burn up a budget pretty fast on her attending a 4-hour or 5-hour meeting where we bullshit about things for a while too, so.
So, I mean, that $4,700 fee is just for the whole year, like for whatever she does.
Oh, right.
We're not gonna charge you individually if she attends a meeting.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
now,
You guys are way over hours.
now, I mean, you know, I think that it would be a good idea since it is a new thing, like maybe after 6 months, we evaluate and see. okay,
Right, that's a
is
good,
this-
that's a good idea.
Is the average of 2 hours a week fitting your needs?
Right.
Do you need to increase it? Do we need to decrease it? So I think it would be good to evaluate it. But yeah, Eric, we wouldn't, like, if she came to a meeting, we wouldn't charge you extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it all washes out in the end, right? Like there may be a week that she's.
Right.
Robert made a comment to me, because Robert, do you not have a speaker and you're not able to talk?
Oh, I got a speaker. I just,
Okay, you do.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
you guys were in full momentum and I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, jump in. What do you got there, Robert?
No, I just thought that, yeah, attending the meetings is a primary way of, you know, getting content to share.
Well, are you thinking every meeting then, or are you thinking just a quarterly kind of thing with, like what we do with local government?
Yeah, maybe not every meeting. We might need to internally coordinate that and say, hey, this is going to be a meeting where we're going to talk about some important things. Yeah, so maybe the quarterly meetings would be a good thing, and maybe quarterly updates
Yeah, especially.
might be the way to plan that as well.
Yeah, especially, yeah.
Probably should start with the annual one first.
I don't know. You guys probably have enough stuff for a quarterly.
I know North Dakota, they don't really have like an association like us, but they do a monthly newsletter, but, so like when they plan their state conference, it's the state government, or it's the North Dakota GIS office that plans that.
Okay.
But they're structured completely different, because it's not an association, so they don't have membership fees. They did hire event staff though. I did talk to, yeah, I did have a conversation with what, because, yeah, I can't remember what his name was. I think he was the state GIS coordinator, but he kind of coordinated the efforts for the conference and stuff. Kind of, you know, him and I both shared thoughts and kind of, you know, he reached out to me because he knew about our conference recently, and I think they're having one in September, I think, so having it in person, so he was more, you know, he was curious on the return to in person and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was interesting to hear, but glad that they're hiring event staff to it, so.
Good, yeah.
So could we like set up a meet and greet, or like not quite an interview, but just kind of maybe the whole board meets this person for, I think, a half an hour, maybe at the next meeting, or?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
That would be a good idea.
That's it, yeah.
Can somebody send me her name and info just for the meeting minutes? Or,
Yep.
Yeah, and I just sent her bio sketch too to all of you.
I was just gonna say, we just got that from her, so.
And I can get, that, you know, that's just her bio sketch. If you want like a full-on resume, I can get that too.
Yeah, see if she's available for July meeting.
I think she might be coming to Montana this summer too. Maybe if she does, maybe she'll be her person.
Did we, I guess I kind of jumped a little bit, did we want to just name her the PIO, or we go with communication specialist, or did we want to have a specific name for her? I personally can't remember. I think there was a couple good names that came up during the conference for her position, but I can't remember what they were. The same. Just wondering if anybody else knew or had any ideas on that.
Does that make Nate the FIO?
FIO.
There you go.
Financial information.
Financial information officer.
Sure.
And like the MIO.
Yeah. I mean, that's not too important, but I mean, when we start figuring out all this stuff and writing things up, I think, you know, when we write stuff up for the like job description and stuff like that, we're probably gonna have to have some kind of official name for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get the whole PIO sort of thing, but I mean, because this person obviously wouldn't be part of our board.
Right.
She put on her thing, communications. Communications.
What do they call a nonprofit communication specialist?
Yeah, that's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
what I was getting at there too, because like, yeah, I think PIO is almost too official, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
like communications specialist or communications associate or.
PIA is more for like for public entities like cops and fire chiefs, and I
I
think.
kind of do like the communications associate though.
Yeah, that
That's what you guys.
Yeah, that's what she has on her.
communication.
The CA, she's the CA.
CA, yes.
She was her husband's a nurse practitioner, and so he used to own the urgent care, one of the cost cares in Missoula, he's like a partner. And so she did all the, just to give you some background, she did all the, like all of their marketing and communications and website stuff
Okay.
and social media, so.
Read short video and website, social media channels, that one of my, or the, before the conference last year, the virtual conference, it was really cool to see all the Magip members' videos. That was preliminary or.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, she did a really nice video like that for the conference in Pasadena. She put together a really cool video with some like music to the background and.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, that sounds good. I mean, I think we're all kind of in favor of going this route, which kind of leads us to the whole membership freeze. I mean, we have to pay for this, so. Nate, you did send that, there was like, was there only 4 people that? Yeah, was there only 4 people that responded to that that survey?
You're on mute again there, Dave.
Yeah, there were 5 people that responded.
Oh, there's 5.
My apologies. I was kind of holding off until I heard back from MLIAC folks on how they wanted me to do stuff. I think, you know, I basically told her personally I'm in favor of raising dues. I know Jenny says she has no problem with raising the dues. I think we need to, where they would come into play would be probably a discussion on what we end up doing with associate membership pay structure. You know, I think in terms of the state library, you know, I think them and Bozeman are really our only associate memberships, right?
No, there's like 7, right?
Yeah,
There's
so
a few.
I want to make sure we don't suddenly price a bunch of these folks out of things, so.
And I made a chart too. I don't have that either.
Do you have Jason's input on this too?
I printed that out too, but I don't have that with me right either.
Yeah, there's the city of Billings, city of Bozeman, Missoula County,
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right here.
and that's it.
Well,
Was it one of the tribes?
yeah, did you mention GCS? Yeah.
Yeah, those are the associate member fee. GIS Inc. So there's 4.
So,
Well, GIS Inc. is not anymore.
Oh, they're not?
No, this is the current list right here.
So that's the only reason I didn't reply right away. But I mean, if we vote to raise rates, I'll vote I'm just gonna stay, I'll vote in the appropriate, in the positive. So, and like I said, I'll vote the way I would vote if it was just me doing it. And if it comes back that MLIAC doesn't like how I voted, then they can assign someone else to my role.
Well, I can do it up here, but I don't want to mess up the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do on the challenge.
Oh. We're gonna go upstairs. Get us. Do
So would we, how would we go about figuring out?
you want the other customer?
Changing the associate membership fee?
Use the bottom one.
Would it be
No dash.
just a simple formula of the total number of fee?
Well, you know, I looked at this and I have it upstairs, but yeah, that's gonna start pricing people out, especially the library, because they have 25.
Well, they're actually wanting to increase that. They want the entire council.
Oh,
Because right now they have to do a separate one.
because if we
Yeah.
went up to $50, then it's gonna be well over 1,000.
Well, I think they just did individuals, so I don't think they actually did or did they do
No, I think they just did
individuals? Yeah.
So yeah, we need to, yeah, I mean, if we do the price increase, we probably, I mean, we obviously gotta look at the associate membership and probably
Well, and with us, with us doing like integrating our newsletter back in. And, we can even actually do like spotlights on the associate memberships too in our social media and on our newsletter. So that would be a benefit right there. Probably highlighting them better at the conference, maybe even, one of our spiels, run down all of, thanking our associate members, and probably having a slide or something, in our slide runner. Yeah, I mean, because I think Jason's comment is that too.
Yeah, and I remember when I think me and you and Nate were talking that, I brought up the whole idea of maybe having a discount, but then you, Nate, you're like, well, why would we want to do that?
Yeah,
Which is a valid point.
yeah.
And then, how did that go? When the associate membership was first figured out, they said they had to scale, because if you wanted to pay extra, or if you wanted to pay for in the 6 to 10, even though you only have 6, then you're just that much more as a supporting Magip kind of thing. So that was just the benefit of that, having them, different companies support that way. That was kind of the reasoning why they had to scale the way they had it.
Well, and Magip was in a much different spot then too. Kind of like what was said at the membership meeting. Obviously, we just had a conference every 2 years.
Right.
So like creating this associate membership kind of balanced out the financials a little bit. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to come to any, I mean, this is just I don't think this is something that we need to make a decision on right now, but we do need to start hashing this out a little bit to determine this.
I guess my thought was to do, whatever we're gonna decide the rates of the dues were on, probably if it's gonna be a little bit more, but like, so the associate membership, let's just say I would say a minimum of 4, we'll go with that. I was thinking either 3 or 4, I think, is it 3? What's the associate membership right now, 5?
It's 5.
Yeah, but you mean the categories?
2 to 5.
Oh, yeah, it's 2 to
Yeah.
5, and then
Yeah.
6 to 10.
I would remove all levels of that, and doing a, minimum of, so would it be 4 times 50 is 200, so just say like the basic associate level, be like 225 or 230 or whatever, that would cover for your 4 members. That's the basic package, I should say. And then if you want to add your fifth, your sixth, all the way up to like, don't even put a cap on it.
Yeah, it's just individually.
Yeah.
that.
And then you would, so if we increase to 50, maybe to add on an additional one would be 55.
Yeah, that's how I think I was telling you guys the structure of that other association, they do, well, it's called an organizational membership, but theirs is up to 5. Like for that price, you can have up to 5 members, and then if you want to add any after that, then it's just per member.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, just because it.
So you only want to have the one category then, just up to 5, and then after that, it's just every.
Or up to whatever number you decide.
Yeah, well, that's essentially your basic packages, this would say just be like 4.
Right.
You know, so, I guess those that have 2 or 3 could still do it, they can still have it, but your basic package would include 4 registration. Or 4 memberships.
Right.
And what's nice about that is if you have that, say you have 2 people on it, then throughout the year you add another staff person or whatever, then you can just add them and not have to pay anything. It's like say you pay $250, you can add people throughout the year, not have to pay any more extra up to a certain amount. It just kind of gives that flexibility.
And pulling up Jason's response.
And then you guys don't separate like your, probably not sure all the same, like I was thinking, like, I was just thinking that other associations, like for their operators or suppliers or vendors, they have a separate, they're called like like affiliate sponsor, affiliate membership, so they pay a little bit more. Because they're like considered like a vendor or a sponsor. But your industry looks a little bit differently, so I'm not sure if you need to separate that way.
Jason had a comment with a considered a reduced rate for any organization that is registered as an associate member, perhaps $10 off per registration for the conference.
Oh, for the conference.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Just to add some value.
Yeah, he's like, there should be an incentive for registering as an associate member. We can offer additional benefits such as reduced conference rate for each. Can we acknowledge each of these organizations, which I think that answer is obviously yes.
Yeah.
We can do that through multiple platforms too. So they're already featured on our website, obviously, you know.
Right, in the blurb.
So obviously with this, and then on the side here, yes,
Yeah, right there,
there's a
yeah.
little runner.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, if an office sends 3 or 4 people to the conference, giving them.
Yeah. But honestly, the benefit of becoming an associate member now, there hardly is any. So I think there is some things that need to change
Yeah.
in order to entice other agencies. I'm still kind of puzzled with the whole Department of Revenue and DNRC and MT. How that is different from the state library. We're all state agency, but that's what I don't understand. And so I don't know if that's not being explained, if that's just not being, yeah. Nate, do you have any information on DNRC? I think you and I had talked about this.
I don't. No.
Okay.
I became a member, and DNRC paid for it because registration was cheaper that way, so.
But that's the thing that kind of, it's because DOR is the same way, like they become members when they register for the conference.
Right.
And their employers just basically just backfill that expense, even though, like, so their employers are paying for that. But why can't just the employer pay for associate membership? And it comes with, you know, and they just want to add people to it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, basically they'd be paying for a basic associate membership. So like DOR, say they have 15 members, and then they can just start adding folks onto it, but.
That may be something that we need to explain to them, we'll say.
Yeah.
slide the higher ups of the DOR and MDT and explain to them, hey, this is.
But it'd be coming at it from a different angle. They wouldn't really be saving any money. So maybe that's their end goal. But they would be featured in other, they would be a featured associate member.
Right, and we would be highlighting them.
Yes. So, but when I got the sounds of it from Brian Anderson, when he made that comment, it sounded like it was against state statute to pay for the state to pay for a membership, which they already are. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Yeah.
We all pay out of pocket at MDT for the membership dues, and then MDT pays for the registration for the conference.
Would you pay out of pocket?
Yeah, for the $30 yearly.
Really?
Yeah.
MDT pay for that?
No.
That part I don't get, because obviously I think DOR and DNRC are.
Because like MDT could be an associate member and then add all you guys to the membership, so that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's some payroll issue or maybe I'll ask Brian and kind of get some answers.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what's prohibiting that.
Or whatever it is, the state library, they either promote it differently to their.
Because they all
Yeah, so. Because I think I did have a conversation with Aaron. It's the same sort of thing, like if we were to do it individually, I probably would have to pay out of pocket for it, but I'm sure the state would probably still reimburse me through like a, request for conference, because obviously the state pays for our conference registration. What's the difference in membership and the membership, the lower the being a full member gets you the lower rate.
Right.
So would the state rather you just not be a member and pay for the higher, the costs don't add up.
Yeah.
But like you said, it might
Because then
be,
you'd be paying for all the higher workshops and double actually in that case.
it may be a payroll thing though, where they see the
Yeah.
conference is more of it, like they have a training fee budget where that's training, but they don't approve membership payments or something.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, so Jeff, you guys talked too about, aside from the associate membership, then setting, like backing into that and figuring out what you're in, like increasing the individual membership rate too, right? From $30, or would you leave that at, would you leave the individual at 30 and just change the associate?
No, we're still,
Working through all of that,
the membership fees are going up.
the individual ones?
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think they haven't gone up for a long time. I just didn't know if you guys had decided.
yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty much in agreement that we're gonna need to raise them just to cover the cost of
The CA.
the CA, there you go.
Well,
Yeah. We kind of jumped ahead of things based on my comment. We were gonna raise dues. I mean, the initial discussion was raising dues, which I agree. I mean, they haven't changed since this organization was created. But B then is when you raise the dues, the next one is then the associate membership discussion.
Right.
Type of thing. I mean, it's six, one half the other, how we put it in play. I mean, one isn't going to impact the other. And I think the discussion we've had on this associate membership has been good because it does make, we have to be aware that if we raise rates, that those folks that do associate memberships need to get a bang for their benefit for their thing. And that's what Jason sent. And then that's what Jeff's been talking about as well there in terms
Right.
of, and with a communication person, liaison, assistant, whatever you guys, I missed
Associate.
one. Associate, there we go. With the communications associate on hand, we can promise to people in a associate membership that we have an outlet now for making sure that they get noted for what they're doing,
Recognized, yeah.
type of thing, recognized, if you will. So the discussion is we're at 30. If we do we go to 40 or 50 for our dues?
Right.
So, and I don't have, Nate, I don't have that graphic up in front of me of, what happens of what the net value, what our net are, whether we're in the red or which one put us in the red. Was it 50 or 40?
Yeah,
Well, the 50 did not put us in the red, it put us in the green by,
Do you want to share that there, Nate?
yeah, I can share that. Share screen.
but going back to Nate's survey, it looked like everybody was in favor, well, the people that replied to it, looked like they were all in favor of the third one.
Yeah, so this is status quo, proposed budget number 1, where there's no increase and no addition of the communication associate. And in this scenario, we have a net positive balance. And then the second proposal has the $10 increase, which increases membership dues to $40. And in this scenario, we have the communications associate, and this one puts us in a deficit of 579.
Isn't bad.
And then the third proposal has the $20 increase.
So $50. So going up to $50 is where
Right.
we probably want to go.
Right, and then try to balance that out, because we have 1,500 in the budget. Jeff was interested in maybe finding some outlet for that maybe an extra $1,000, maybe putting that into the scholarships, adding another $1,000 to the scholarships, or adding, some of these responses were pretty good, and they had some ideas.
I think we could even split it too. I think my comment was to split it, maybe additional sponsorship money.
Oh, was that your comment, 800 to the
Yeah, yeah.
sponsors
And then
and
also,
the posters?
then also increase the prize pools for, the poster winners. So,
I think you can budget for it, but until you have actuals where you actually have the money in the bank at the end of the year at the conference. That's when you make a decision.
Yeah.
Put that extra money into scholarships or something like that.
right, yeah, you still have the power to kind of, probably, we'll budget for it, but, until around the conference time comes into play, obviously we typically know a lot of the financial lead into the conference. Like, yeah, it's looking pretty good. And then, we can, at that point, then, go with the plan of increased scholarship money. I think that would be really, especially for a higher education scholarship, I think that would be a good idea.
I do like the idea of raising up the scholarship level, because the way the cost of schools are going up anyway, as it is, so.
You could also raise your sponsorship levels a little bit. I mean, you're gonna keep registration fees the same, but maybe raise the sponsorship levels for the conference up a little.
For the vendors.
Yeah,
So how much they would pay more,
maybe have them pay a little bit more for, like, if we have, if the bronze sponsorship is 400, maybe next year it's 5.
And considering the last time I looked at a motel in the Bozeman area, actually Belgrade, because we're getting ready to fly out next week to go visit family. We were gonna spend the night in Belgrade and then fly out on the early flight. We got quoted $300, and I said, screw that, I'm getting up at 1 in the morning and driving down there.
I'm glad I have connections. We haven't
Absolutely.
paid for a hotel there. My wife's family's from there.
Hotels are so expensive.
Especially when Bobcats play.
Oh,
Yeah, they take advantage of those pockets.
So have conferences been increasing in price every year? I mean, does it cost more to have a conference? And with all this inflation going on?
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I
Zula
mean,
was.
I think that's one of the things you guys talked about. If you raise membership fees, then would you be able to then leave the registration fees alone and not increase those too? I mean, it was kind of a.
right, exactly, yeah, that was, yes, that's what I was kind of hoping.
What I saw when I looked at the different memberships for different state-based organizations, either there was a very small membership fee, and then you saw the increases on the conference registration side of things, or, you know, get a lot larger membership, then that got discounted from you, from what you paid for the conference, so.
Are we still, I mean, we're pretty much online with the Bozeman numbers, right, Nate?
Yeah,
So, I mean, the Bozeman conference is pretty well set already. I mean, price wise, we got that pretty well.
Yeah, and there's now, I think the next 2 years, we're pretty good on that food and beverage note, because I think here it's not much, and then in Bozeman, I don't think it's one.
Right, so,
The venue cost is already kind of set in place for at least.
yeah, we kind of go every 2 years, we're already jumping on the venues and stuff, so we're,
Otherwise, it gets really tight with dates, you know. We
Right.
typically like to have our conference with it within a 2 or 3 week window in April.
right. So no, that's good. So basically, I mean, my thoughts here were, my thoughts were, if, can you go back to the budget?
Oh, go back.
Or no, I mean, sorry, Nate, Jeff, can you get back on and put the agenda on? Nate, not share your screen anymore? Thanks. Okay. My whole thoughts were this first half here up until lunch here is have a discussion about all three of these things, which we're obviously having. But I was hoping to, by July's meeting, that we are gonna start making some decisions and start voting on the budget by July's meeting, so we can get that passed right away. Because we need to get it passed in July
Yeah, well, and
for the next year.
yeah, I agree with that too. I think the membership proposal should include obviously a plan to restructure associate fees.
Yes,
Because we can't, obviously, we can't keep the ones that are there right now, you know?
yeah,
So,
right.
but if we're into the 50, and then we need to figure out what we need to do with the associate fees.
I kind of thought maybe like a buy 5, get 1 membership free. So not like a discount, but you get a 6th person you can add, and then do that for 10, get 2 free, 15, get 3 free. I don't know.
That was kind of something that I brought up. I think, yeah, there's some kind of discount we need to have for them, but
I don't mind actually Jason's idea with the $10 off per registration for the conference.
I like that idea,
Yeah.
actually. And then we'll combine that with what you two are saying about,
Because then that doesn't affect our bottom line or our budget item line with the membership fees coming in. It's more the conference stuff.
It's gonna change Nate's projections, though, I bet.
It would, yeah.
I wouldn't catch that then.
But then I think it's much more scalable though.
Well, budget's always just a guess of what
Yeah.
you're in.
yeah, especially with the GeoCon budget portion, like it's really hard to estimate revenue from registration and workshops. So
Right,
that is always kind of a floating number.
Yeah, maybe you try that this year, and then you have something tangible to
Yeah.
like see, okay, how many people actually utilized the discount? And then when you're budgeting for next year, you'd have an idea of,
well, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Because what was the full conference early bird rate?
is it 245, I think,
Yeah.
245?
So we would be looking at $235 per registrant. You know,
Well, if they're an associate member.
if they're associate membership, yeah.
Right,
Which for the state library, that's actually a lot of money, so.
I actually like that idea.
uh,
And then did you want to tie that into your, 4 members at a certain price, and then everything above that? I kind of like that idea too.
So currently, the current associate membership is just taking the max number, so if it's 2 to 5, 5 times the 30, right, that gets you.
Yeah,
Well, I would,
there is no discounts for the associate membership.
yeah,
Now, if you have 5 people, it's $150, but that's what you would pay if you
yeah.
did 5
We do it
individual.
individual, yeah.
So I'm just going on that concept, if you did it the 5 times 50, that takes it from 150 to 250, so it's
Right.
100 increase.
Yep.
For the next one, it would be 3 to
Yep.
500, which is $200 increase.
I've already made that. I've looked into that. I got it upstairs. I know I have that same thing.
The
Yeah.
conference fee was $295, sorry. Well, I think it was
Does that go
$245 early.
Early bird,
Yeah,
that would
and
be
then
early bird, yeah.
$295 full.
Yeah.
Okay, for members.
I got to plug in.
Student memberships stays the same, right?
It's a student membership.
Student
Well,
membership
and that was
is,
what was suggested. Oh, go ahead, Nate, I'm sorry.
student membership is 15 right now, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. we have to think about.
Yeah, because there was a comment by, somebody made a comment about the student fees, maybe lowering that.
No,
You know,
I would say if we could increase those to 25 student fees.
And what are they now, 20, or they're only 15? Oh, shit, yeah.
Well, and we generate so little from that right now too,
Yeah,
you know, but yeah, that would be part of the proposal though, because we have 3 membership types of associate, full, and student. So any proposal that we do, I would figure all 3 would need to be touched on.
right. Do we need to touch on that by July? Or is that something that we just deal with when we get to the conference stuff?
Oh, you're talking about for the conference fee then?
Well, isn't that what you were talking about?
I was talking about the membership fee.
Yeah, for the conference.
I was just thinking it's membership fee. 'Cause
Oh, just
student-
membership fee, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that, in the associate member B category right now, most everybody's membership is not due till December, because it's based on when they,
Mhm.
so you won't have anybody renewing until December, so you have a little bit of time if you're going, to change that, at least in that
Yeah.
category,
what was the student registration for the conference? See, we,
75.
yeah. But then we also have how many student members do we have?
You have 10 active
Yeah.
student members is all. There's 99 like in the system, but they've, either moved on or gathered. We have like 10 that have active memberships right now.
That's actually.
And then in the
I
other
think that's gonna
category,
go up during conference time this year.
Yes.
Since we're having it in Bozeman.
yeah, and then in the big category, the E category, that's 21 to 25 members, those, they've all renewed recently, so they're not due till 2023. So you have time to restructure it, because there's, in those associate categories, no one's coming due anytime soon.
I just don't know what to do with the budget though, if we don't restructure.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, yeah. I mean, we have to, I really wanna have the budget done by July.
Because
Yeah,
otherwise we have to amend the budget, because then like any budget
That's true.
figures,
Right.
yeah, I think you do have to have it done by July, so you have to figure out what that,
because those renewals obviously would happen within the next budget cycle.
So
that's true, yeah.
So we would need to anticipate the additional revenue. Otherwise, paying for the PIO, but not looking at the numbers for the increased membership, it would be a negative budget easily.
Yeah, and right now, 150. So right now, they can pay up to 5 members at 150. If you change it, the individual membership to 50, that raises that to $250.
Right.
But you need to make it, they get some kind of a discount, right? So it would be,
My idea would be the associate membership would come with 4, the basic associate membership would come with 4, and then the additional would be X amount of price.
and then would you leave that at 150 for 4? Because it would be 200.
Or
if
it'd
they
be
paid individually.
200.
So you want to give them a little bit of a discount, because otherwise why would they do it, right?
Well-
Except for the advertising.
That's kind of what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what we're talking about. I don't see why we need to give them a discount
Yeah.
because of the advertisement.
They just get additional benefits,
Yeah,
right?
the additional
Well-
benefits, plus if we actually do the whole
$10 off.
$10 off of the conference because they're an associate member.
That by itself, so say let's say it's 55 or 60, that by itself basically cancels it out.
Yeah, so then the library, Montana State Library, for example, that has, say, 25 members,
Right.
instead of paying the $750 that they pay now.
Yeah, they'd be paying over 1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so,
like 1,200, I think, if I remember calculating.
But then they'd be getting $10 off per registrant, more spotlight obviously from us and our other
Yeah.
platform in multiple ways.
yeah,
Probably being highlighted at the conference,
and
Does
maybe.
that come with a booth? Because they have a booth then as well.
That would not come with it, no.
So they'd have to be, so in addition to their associate membership, they'd also have to pay for a
That'd be a big benefit, right?
But
booth
maybe
space.
they get an opportunity to I don't know, speak or something, I don't know. But yeah, I see what you're saying, leave that the same, but they just get added benefits.
Yeah,
And I think that cleans it up because you have so many categories in here right now. That would give you the three, you have your
Yeah.
associate members.
yeah,
Because we can mention them at say our welcome speech or whatnot, to thank our associate members. And we could even have a slide going up in our runner as well. Thanking our associate members.
Yeah.
Makeup.
And Alicia can help you with the messaging on why fees are increasing.
yeah, that'd be
Because
great.
you're gonna have to give everybody a heads up that that's a pretty big jump, right?
Well, we've already kind of mentioned it to everybody.
So,
That's true.
So,
is it the state library good with that type of price increase, or
That is good.
Because they're probably the biggest, most affected?
Yeah.
Has anyone suggested no discount on their membership fees, but a conference registration discount? Like a 2% discount on your actual conference registration?
Well, I think that is what you were saying, Jeff. I
Yeah,
think-
that was Jason's idea with the $10 off. per
Yeah,
registrant.
yeah, if you're an associate
You would get $10 off your registration fee.
Okay.
or
Or
whatever
a
we decide,
percentage, yeah.
a percentage, yeah. But, yeah, so that's what we were kind of looking at there, but if you weren't an associate member, it's just standard. I think that would really start bringing people in, associate, to be honest with you. If they were smart, to be honest.
Unless you only have 2 employees.
Well, right.
That's where the 4 kind of comes into play.
Yeah,
And just support your association,
Yeah, you could be one person and.
be a supporter, and then you can always add people, if you can still add up to 4 people if you want to.
Yep.
And I can see people doing that as it gets close to conference, all of a sudden they're like, oh, or maybe they've had a new staff person come on a few months before the conference and they really want them to go, then they can add them and they may get $10 off the conference fee,
Well, and state library has 25 members
With the council, there was gonna be more,
but not all of them attend the conference.
right?
Then they wouldn't,
But they'd still get the discount for those who do attend. So,
but, okay, so say if there's 2 members, you buy the $200 for 400 or the 4 people. So then you get a third person to join in, and then it's basically just email Magip and say, hey, we got a third person now, password.
Or they can just
They're
go add them,
they're automatically added in.
or they can just go, if they're the bundle administrator on the account, they
Just
can
go add
add them,
Oh, okay,
or I can add it for them.
okay.
but yeah, that additional 1 would be at no cost because they've already paid.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just a matter of them communicating to us that's, Sure. I like that idea.
Yeah, because it seems like people in your industry kind of come and go, clearly with Haley, Brandon. And so you might see that, you know, say they paid for that membership and somebody leaves, but instead of reducing their membership to individual, that they would just leave that in case the new
Yeah.
staff person
Well,
comes on.
you saw with Lynn Rich or City of Bozeman,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
She went from the county over to the city and then they added her
Yeah.
to their bundle. You
So
know,
it just,
they'd
yeah,
already paid for up to 10, they didn't have to
Yes.
pay for an additional membership, they just essentially.
yeah, just leaves that flexibility there for that.
Awfully quiet over there, Robert. What do you think? Still
Like, I know we have to wait that much.
on?
So if you wanna talk about.
I think you muted the Rob.
ideas before I
Oh,
leave,
yeah, let's do that.
And if not, doesn't matter.
I just unmuted. What do I
Well, that's
think?
kind of what we're talking about here. I'm not really, I wasn't really trying to go through this whole thing.
Are you guys listening?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, go Robert.
It's hard to follow along on all the aspects, but I do support raising the membership to $50. And then I do think that we should consider all of the other costs or fees and adjust those as well. Right? So if we increase the membership, the full membership, we should increase the others accordingly. You guys had a lot of interesting discussion about how to address the associate membership, and frankly, I feel like you guys have a better handle on that than I do. I'm willing to support your decisions on that.
I mean, I can certainly draft a proposal and, you know, send it out to everybody, you know, just so we're not coming in to July's meeting all blind, you know.
No, we definitely don't want to do that.
So yeah, I think kind of just taking everybody's comments, we can come up with something.
The only thing I worry about is cost to your organization, Jeff, because it can be
Yeah.
very significant, and so.
I can get Aaron's,
Yeah,
yeah, I can get
feedback on
Aaron's feedback on this. For sure.
Yeah, and that was that was my same thing as on some of those associates that have big memberships like that. But like you were saying, Jeff, if they get a reverse, if they get an offset in terms of who's attending the conference, you know, a discount on conference attendance, you know, there is that benefit as well. So
And they're not locked in at the 25, you know, so if they're wanting to add, you know, say half the council or a third of the council, it comes to be.
yeah, and yeah,
30.
and that comes down, you know, and I guess I'm speaking for my own self, you know, I mean, they offered to pay all my stuff for the conference, you know, as a council member. And I said, well, no, I'm already going, you know, through my organization. So, you know, that was, you know, a lot of stuff like that. But then again, I don't know how many other council members have their own organization paying for stuff as well. So, hey, I've got to jump off here for just about an hour, but I'll be back. You guys will probably be right in the middle of lunch when I get back, but I'll be back in times for reports. So apologies. I'll leave my blank screen open. You can look at the sunset right there over the Sealy Valley. So
Appreciate that, Eric.
that's looking out over the fairway at Double Arrow. So
Nice.
so I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay. Okay, now for the budget review, I don't know how much I was really gonna go through piece by piece of this thing. I just wanted an open discussion about the budget with membership fees and the new communications associate and all that. But we can talk about that a little bit. Michelle has to go in about 20 minutes here, so I kind of wanted to discuss or have her discuss the we had earlier yesterday, we had a couple of hotel visits for the 2024 conference, which is going to be in Billings. And Did you, jump in there?
Yeah, so we looked at the northern here and the DoubleTree, Jeff and Mike and, Jeff and I. And they both, what we've come to conclude is they both are pretty comparable in price. I really don't think one's more expensive or less expensive than the other when it comes down to it. The space at the northern, well, I think the northern's a little bit more updated. Seems to be a little more updated and nicer. Their space is all on one level, the meeting rooms and spaces on one level. And we felt like the space was creative enough that we could fit, it would fit all of our needs. And then the DoubleTree, they have a lot of space as well, but it's very choppy, I guess, would you say? Like,
They could work for it.
yeah, I mean,
It'd be on 2 floors.
yeah,
Or it could be mixed in with another conference or meetings and things like
yeah,
that too.
there could be other things going on. So I think it was our, after looking at both of them and reviewing the costs, I think it was our consensus that we felt like the northern would be a better fit.
Yep.
And they do have the second and third week of April available, or the third week available. She's checking on the second week
Okay,
of
So they
April.
do the third, okay.
so they do have the 3rd available.
Yeah,
Good.
I would just shoot for the third week of April.
yeah.
Yeah, if they got that available, let's just pencil us in there.
And they are offering the prevailing government rate at the time plus $5. So
Right.
right now that's $96.
Plus the $5. I don't know why they add $5 to it, but that's just what they do.
Yeah, and by 2024, that'll probably go up $2 or $3. So maybe closer to 105.
Do either of you know how that affects for you guys? I mean, I would imagine as long as you're not booking something that's like $500, you still would have.
As long, yeah, I just have a budget, and so as long as that cost stays within the travel budget, then it gets approved.
Because I know the state library, I know some of the folks that didn't end up at the, because they missed the room block, ended up over at the one across the road.
Marion.
Marion.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because obviously we weren't going to pay for what did you up to, like $200 or something like that?
300, yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
absolutely.
But like, I still think that this $5, $10, whatever it is.
I don't think that's gonna make a big deal, but I also
It's-
think if we
yeah,
go
it's,
beyond our block, though, too, there is the Best Western. It's right down, just right, a couple blocks over there. I mean, there's a couple other options right here in town, or the DoubleTree, yeah.
Did we ask them if, what their flexibility is if like, once we fulfill the room block, say for one night or like say Tuesday night, we underestimate how many folks are coming in. Would they,
If there's it's all about whether there's availability.
Right, but I thought they were pretty,
That's what it's coming down to,
yeah, the Northern was pretty,
She seemed pretty flexible.
right, that's the word.
And we could still, if we felt like we wanted to increase those numbers. Liz from the DoubleTree did get back with me while we were meeting just now.
okay,
And she said that the secondary, remember she talked about, so at the DoubleTree, to get that government rate, you have to show your government ID.
Mhm.
And if you don't, then there's a secondary rate of $139. This would be for vendors, non-government attendees, and for everyone past the 60-room maximum. For AV, I've been told to anticipate an increase of around 20% above our current pricing as our upgrades, after our upgrades are completed. So, it's probably still gonna be comparable in price, but I felt like after looking at the space and the pricing, the Northern seemed like the better. And like maybe a level up in professionalism a little bit, maybe.
I would agree with that. And then also my other thought on that is that we've had it at the DoubleTree already. I just thought maybe a little change of venue too would be not a bad idea.
and especially with it being split on 2 floors, from what I remember from 14.
Yeah,
It was confusing.
it got a little confusing.
And the vendors it just kind of was awkward, the
Yeah.
posters, it wasn't really dedicated space for either one.
I agree.
Kind of just have them all over the place in the foyer area.
Yes, yes.
What I like about the Northern is it's all in one spot. It's like we have our own space. We don't have to worry about anybody
Or
bothering
basically on
us
the
or
second
anything
floor,
like that.
yes.
Yeah, and it was as far as just class, it was just a little bit of like a step above
Mhm.
what you got in the DoubleTree.
Yeah, and parking was free. The valet and self parking is free and they have a parking garage,
Yep.
so.
Sounds like there's a lot of benefit to the northern. Do we know if there's like a catering minimum or food minimum that we'd have to spend?
Yeah, it's 9,200.
Yeah, it was 9,200 was the minimum.
At the northern?
Yes.
What was the minimum of Missoula?
Is it 11,000? I can't remember. I know we spent like 23,000.
Nate, do you remember what the minimum was for Missoula?
I don't, but if it was 11,000, we spent way over that. So.
Yeah.
Is this part of a chain?
For what?
Hotels? For Northern?
No, I don't think so.
They seem
I
pretty
think
similar,
they're-
but they
they're
also
local
their
business?
menus
Yeah.
aren't, like. they
Well,
can have
the owners are the people
but
that
they were
develop Zoot.
pretty comparable.
I don't know if you know what Zoot is. Who's telling me that?
Zoot?
Zoot.
Yeah, I noticed they had Zoot rooms over there. What is
Well,
it?
that's the guy, they're the ones that developed who told me this? They are the ones that developed the first credit card readers
Oh,
that you could use. You know, instead of, putting the card in and going, the little hand thing. They're the ones that made the first scanner things or whatever, and they made obviously a shitload of money. And they ended up buying the Northern.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
Did they have their floor plan on their website? Do you remember, Michelle?
I don't know if it's on their website.
You the one that got the math.
Yeah, I have it.
Vendors will be much happier than Northern's here.
I think so, and we decided to put them in the ballroom, right, like they were having some for.
Well, that you can either put them in the ballroom or in the entryway.
Right. You wanna look at that?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it pulled up for the rest of it also.
Oh, is it on there?
Trying to. It has all the stuff listed.
Yeah, I have this one. So, yeah, I mean, the consensus was that we were pretty happy with the Northern side. This is gonna be this will be a Jeff Sprock thing when he's president, but,
I think that the big thing that DoubleTree had is if you had like the MLAC meeting in the top floor, whatever is that.
Oh, yeah.
20th floor or whatever.
The 20th.
That was a spectacular view.
yeah,
Yeah, it really was.
that was nice.
I mean, they don't like the boardroom option, the boardroom can still do that.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, just wanted to give you a little report on that before Michelle took off here at lunch, so.
One thing, before, I was gonna mention this in the report, but I wanted Michelle to hear it too, but for Zoom renewal, it was automatically renewed in March on the 17th, but I don't see it come through on our bank account. So I was wondering, Michelle, if Full Scope pays that and then we reimburse you?
Oh, I'll ask Michael Nate. It might have gone on our Full Scope American Express. I'll check with her. We've been gone so much over these past couple months. I don't know that she's caught up with that, but I'll ask her. It's possible that it went on our American Express.
Oh, okay.
You guys would pay our Zoom account?
Sometimes we pay for things on our account and then we just invoice you back.
Oh, okay.
But it is interesting because I think at one point, Nate, we wouldn't have had a Magip debit card and everything. So I'll check with her.
I guess what are we thinking for timing for getting something set, dates like
For,
2024?
I'm good with the third week of, I think if they got it available, I think we just pencil it in, just to get something penciled in.
Or you wanted to lock it in, is that what you're saying?
I just emailed her again too and said, because remember she was checking with that other group.
Right,
And I said, any word on that? And then please confirm the third week.
right.
Well, maybe by next month, just because we didn't have it on our agenda, to actually have the board approve to have it at the Northern.
Oh, right, yeah, we could, yeah,
And then probably a separate call or, yeah. Is in the contract, I guess we could do it all in one file swoop, but
I think
By then we should know the date, at least have the dates.
Yeah,
confirmed from her.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because approving like the site, the location and the dates would be, board decision.
Okay.
For next month, I think.
Yep.
And the grand tree.
But I think probably ahead of time, we could probably send out to the group, kind of like a breakdown of what the, listing out, kind of what you were saying, like for the facilities.
Yeah, the cost.
The costs were different, for both of them.
Okay, yeah.
We could probably include the layout, as
Mhm.
well. I can't find the northern layout, I was gonna show everybody, but.
I can never email it to you.
Yep, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that, and
Okay,
send the specs out to the board members. If you could.
yes.
Well, yeah, I'm in favor of having that for Northern as well. It didn't seem like the price difference was that dramatic. And I like the level of professionalism that the Northern, the appeal of it, obviously all on the same level, like you're saying, so.
Yeah, the Northern has two restaurants right attached to it too, that are really nice. One's a evening dinner place, one's a breakfast. Kind of look like a,
Like a diner.
yeah, a little diner, yeah. That was pretty nice there, and you're downtown, there's just tons of places to eat around here, so. So yeah, I definitely, Michelle, you could send that stuff out. And then in July, we'll motion to get that approved.
Yeah.
Or agreed upon anyway.
Yeah, that was just because the grand tree dates for 2023 are those earlier dates. They're like the second through the.
Right. And that's fine, go ahead. I mean, she was gonna check on the second week too, right, or the third week?
No, we already have a contract with that, with the grand tree.
We're talking Charleston.
Oh, Bozeman, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and historically, that's always, Helena's really the only oddball, because I don't think the first week was available, or maybe Easter came into play, because it was the last weekend of,
Yeah.
the last week of March, actually. I think it's really the only conference I can think of that we had in March, and
Mhm.
Right.
it wasn't cold. So that's the risk you run when you have it earlier. Obviously, March too, sometimes you can compete with spring breaks.
Yeah. Totally agree.
You guys have I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, are you saying that you're gonna send that out to the membership body as to which venue they would prefer?
No, us.
No, just the board members.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
And,
just 'cause there's so many of you guys that didn't get to see it, so we'll
Right.
include the layout, kind of
Nice.
the overall cost for one, it's just kind of a side-by-side comparison of both of them, so.
Does that also go for the membership rate increase? Same deal?
Like, does that have to go to the membership? Is that what you're?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just sorry to go back on that, but I just wanted to kind of put it in the meeting minutes.
I mean, no, we weren't gonna go send that to the membership. We've kind of already given them ideas of that we were doing that. And then we would obviously explain to them the reasonings afterwards, be more of a board thing.
Yeah, so I attached this in the agenda of their Aaron.
And we-
So,
But in Helen or in Missoula, at the membership meeting, it felt like you guys did a good job of talking about that and giving an overview of why that.
yeah.
Right,
increase in people
right.
seemed supportive.
Yeah, there was quite a few people that were in support of, particularly what this increase would be going towards.
Yeah.
Need some water. It's been delivered or?
No, we gotta go get it.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm thinking that we should probably break for lunch now then. I think this would be a good time to do that.
oh, she just answered. Do you have the third week available for sure? And she's meeting with the client at 1 about the second week.
Oh, that's
So-
right. It was the 1 o'clock she was gonna talk
So
to.
the double tree?
No, that was at the Northern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah. All right, well, that sounds good. Definitely good talks. So we will reconvene at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, 12:30 or so.
Bless you.
We'll have this all pretty, I don't know if we're gonna shut it down or not, we'll just have it up. Yeah, so,
Pause the recording.
yeah. Unless anybody else got anything at this moment? No?
Sounds good.
Enjoy lunch, guys.
All right, see you guys.
We're gonna have some
You too.
pizza. Want to have a joint board meeting.
It's not all the time, I was just like, oh, every once in a while.
Yeah, they have so many like different chapters too. And, yeah, one of those officers, I mean, look how big this board of directors are.
But they're still in state though, right? Or I was like, obviously
Yeah.
Montana, you know, so.
Yeah, they actually have a chapters map, I think. Somewhere. Yeah, right here.
I wonder what GIS person did that.
Yeah, it's big.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think we'll just keep on getting some more communication with Marls, maybe talk to their president and see what they think about that and go on from there.
Yeah, and I can certainly make those communications to Dan.
Okay. Or, yeah, I can make some phone calls too, but
Yeah, I mean, since I kind of initially started that conversation with Dan,
okay.
I'll certainly loop both of you guys in on it.
All right, for the retreat, of course, we were split right down the middle of all the votes and everything. And then, of course, with the flooding and everything that happened over there and stuff, it didn't really change a whole lot in terms of the resort and the Pollard. The Pollard didn't get affected in the flood. Well, first of all, we're having it in Red Lodge, the retreat. Rock Creek, they must have had some damage. I mean, their access to Rock Creek, the road washed out, but apparently there's another way in there, which I was not aware of. And the Pollard missed the flooding. It was just outside of it. But through what everybody was saying, through the surveys and everything, I kind of made a decision to go ahead and pick the Pollard. And for the 14th and 15th, so we have the restaurant that's available there. So that's kind of what we're sitting on. I still have I've left 2 messages with the Pollard. They have not gotten back to me yet to confirm that they're still available. I will find out, I'm hoping this tomorrow or Friday, and I can just reconfirm that then, but that's what I'm gonna shoot for. 14th, 15th at the Pollard for the retreat. The only person that's really gonna affect is Jason. I'll have to talk to Jason on the side about that. Cause he's got something going on the 16th, 17th. He doesn't want to be away from his family for 5 days. But, I think he can probably just virtual Zoom in and stuff, so I think we should be all right with that.
That week or is that weekend?
It's Thursday, it's a Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, that's certainly, I think that certainly works.
Is that gonna work for you, Nate and Aaron? And
Yeah, that should work.
Good. It's far enough out.
yeah, for sure. I think he'll be pretty good, and I think by then Red Lodge will be pretty well back on his feet, so at that time too, so. Do you want to talk about the salary survey at all? Where you're at with that?
Oh, so salary survey, got most of the executive summary typed up, still working on the conclusion. But yeah, it's not quite there yet, but probably shooting sometime in July, get it all done up.
Yeah, that'd be good to get that done.
Yep.
And then what was the plan, just to send that out to just everybody?
Yeah, probably make an announcement about it, and then probably replace this with the 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I guess the one, I mean, because a couple of the managers that, because I think there's a couple people we've sent the response data to, we're definitely hesitant to actually release the full amount for it. I don't know if you got a copy of it or not.
Probably not.
Lee Mackles, I know we sent her just because of Magip ties.
Yeah, and she didn't want people that out.
Well, no, it's just, I don't think it should be, downloadable, for everyone to view the individual response data for it, so. Because we're publishing obviously, response, analysis of the collection of responses.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we should be putting out to everybody to see.
Yeah.
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 No, I don't think the individual, I don't want that out there.
Yeah. We'd sent it to Lee though, because they did the same thing with the 2018. It's actually helped them do justifications for salary modifications. So.
But she wanted individual? Or are you saying the 2018 survey itself that we sent out in 2018 helped them? Yeah, no,
the 2021, they've done some analysis on just, and that's kind of why we did more of analysis this time around, because before what we just put out there is what you're a simple export out of SurveyMonkey.
right.
No, and I actually kind of like what we did. We actually have it kind of graphed out, sectioned out by position. So there's actually some pretty good ranges in there by position.
Yeah, no, that's
You don't get that with your typical SurveyMonkey.
Right.
So the 2018, she did request for it just so she could do that analysis on top of what we did.
I see.
Yeah.
So this time we are actually doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
so
good.
we actually got good ranges for, manager, coordinator, specialist, analyst, so,
Yeah, that would be nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yep, yeah, I think there's a lot, I mean, I've had a few people kind of tap on my shoulder, hey, when's the, last year's, salary survey, yeah, so. Yeah, it'll be good to get that off the list, I think a part of our accomplishments for this year, so.
Yep, no, that sounds good. No, what you showed before, you and Steve.
Yeah.
Were that was pretty awesome as it was, so.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Did you want to talk about the work plan at all, or?
No, I think we're good. I think we can just probably move on to reports. Tommy is in here. I don't know if, Tommy, do you want to go? What's your timeline?
Whenever.
Okay, so about 2 o'clock then?
Yep, sure.
No, you go right ahead, Tom. You go ahead and give us our local government report.
Okay. So basically, local government group is going great. Had lots of participation. I'm behind on meeting minutes for the different meetings, getting some things lined out for the future as far as some of the potential scheduling that we have for different training type things. And like Dave Ritz, Dan Staley, Andrew Stickney. We've got Bob Kessler. So Dave Ritz will be covering census data for the redistricting process at some point. Dan Staley will be covering how to read a COS and certificate of survey and things to note, notice, and consider. Andrew Stickney is going to be covering planning and community development at our next meeting. MSL, Bob Kessler with geo-enabled elections and redistricting are some of the things that are slated for the future. Participants been pretty good. I don't have exact numbers right now for the meeting participants, but it's been, I'd say, around that 20 mark. Participation's been great. Conversation's been great. This last meeting was a little dry, but I kind of failed at getting some stuff ready ahead of time. I am potentially going to, depending on how this budget cycle goes with the commissioners, I'm potentially going to have to see about fixing some things to see if, sorry about that, see if I can get either additional help or basically maybe have to look at getting someone else to take the chair position. The amount of time, and I'm not allowed to, I have to make up my work time that I spend on the local government group with my personal time, and personal life and work life are pretty darn busy. So I'm kind of falling behind on some different things. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm finding that I'm making mistakes and I don't like making mistakes. So any questions?
Wonder if Steve would be interested.
Stephen J.
Yeah, especially since he's not on the board.
It's definitely worth an ask.
Okay.
So
Because you're covering the community development, planning and community development topic now, right?
that's next month. Yep. That was this last meeting in which I thought that we had Andrew scheduled for that one, and I misread the email, and it was actually the next meeting that he had scheduled. So
Okay.
that's where it was a little bit dry in this last meeting.
Oh,
So
I beg to differ. We had fun.
it was a great conversation, you know, that I learned a lot. And
Yeah, I think there's, like I said, 20, I think there's close to 30 maybe when I look at that Zoom list sometimes. You know, I think we've had some, well, you know, you take away the vendors that attend, and we let Esri sit in on and listen, and they, you know, that type of thing, and they have good commentary. But yeah, I mean, between Bozeman, I mean, we've had some good conversations. I have to agree with you, Tommy, on that. So
yeah, my gut instinct was to say 30, but I didn't want to overshoot my numbers, and so it's been in that 20 to 30 mark.
Well, I've been hearing nothing but good things about it, especially from the people from my department participating in it. They're really enjoying it and learning things as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important to keep in mind for a chair position, kind of like what you, Tommy, you do so many things where like you can almost step in and talk about all these different things, you know. So and Steve's probably in a similar way, you know, being in a small local government. It seems like you guys are in a position to be in kind of like what your role is. So I've attended most of them. Obviously, I was in New York for your one on Thursday, but yeah, I think this local SIG group has been great. Great addition to Mega.
No, if anybody else got any questions for Tommy?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Tom, or Tommy, if the minutes I came in, I was gonna at least timestamp those videos for you. And yeah, and by the way, I really do enjoy those meetups. But as far as the minutes are concerned, I didn't know if it'd make it easy on you, because I couldn't do another thing of minutes. I was just gonna like timestamp the video so people at least know that how to jump to the topics. So I don't know if that's a time saver. And I can do that.
Nice. And I guess I would want the board's opinion in regards to, as far as trying to type up minutes as compared to having a timestamp for the video, you know, basically just covering the different topics with timestamps. You know, how detailed does the board want these meeting notes?
Aaron, are you doing the minutes for the local SIG too?
Well, I volunteer to at least have jump to topic, you know, timestamps, because my time is kind of stretched too. Doing these minutes take me a little bit, but I'd be willing to at least have the video portion covered with an easy to reference on that end.
Do you have to integrate that within like the YouTube video editor? Is that kind of how that works?
I don't. I basically just do a Word doc that has those out.
Okay. Okay, so then like, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that covers for minutes, really.
Yeah.
I think that's-
Yeah,
I think that-
I don't think we have any problem with that.
Okay.
So that's a
Cool.
lot easier. It's quicker, and well, hopefully those videos will be up there long enough.
Yeah.
Where are the videos at?
Oh, yeah, I'll bring it up. Yeah, I've actually been helping this portion of it out.
And it's been greatly appreciated.
You know, so I honestly, I could probably help with your agenda, posting your agenda. I would just need to be in the loop on, like, if you have a guest speaker, I could essentially just put that on, like, that would probably be your easiest agendas, is the guest speaker ones.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get everything.
So it's kind of a member only page, it's off the members.
Okay. It's one of the benefits of being a member, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And
Well,
special-
because you're on the board, you get to log in, you get the administration, you get the extra pages and stuff.
And I am trying to get everything front loaded. So basically I'll have an agenda ready 3 months in advance. Unless someone comes in with a spontaneous topic and wants to add in, you know, a last minute presentation piece. I'm trying to make sure and get everything scheduled out as far in advance as possible, trying to turn all of the email content into templates for any new members. Trying to get that all basically template driven, if you will.
Yeah, so I just have all of this. I haven't done the June one, so I haven't been in office since.
Oh, right.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, you
Some
just
wild apricot stuff.
Yeah,
it should.
I've just grazed the surface of it.
Do you guys have security restrictions with YouTube? I'm watching that, but they took it.
I couldn't answer that, I guess.
Yeah. They have been loading. I don't know why we're having issues with it.
It's probably the building. Stupid local government.
But yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Tommy, for your report.
Thank you guys for all of your efforts. It's not easy.
And yours as well.
And if you want, I can show, I'm logging in now. If you want me to show that web link on this side.
So the sharing screen.
Are you gonna share your screen then? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Except I gotta get you guys off of my screen. All right, can everybody see my screen here?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess I was doing it. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Whoops.
Access this if you're a member and logged in, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Very cool.
So, and then the agendas, are pretty darn basic. I'm trying to make sure that whenever I post an agenda, I'm not even really covering this top section that's listed as not a part of the agenda, but trying to make sure that people, if this gets shared outside of a Magip member, that they get pointed back to Magip. And trying to make sure that everybody knows kind of what's up and coming. And then include the next meeting. And then what's on the agenda for this particular time. So what I've set up is leaving the core topic at 60 minutes and then leaving another 15, maximum half an hour for water cooler conversation for anything that anybody wants to talk about that's outside of the topics, but you know, might be hot and pressing for them. So if we're talking about emergency services and GIS and the Magip grant is coming up, you know, and somebody needs to get help with that. That was kind of the intent with that water cooler conversation time, is to leave that spontaneous conversation ability to cover hot pressing topics. So.
Excellent.
So, and like I said, I'm trying to catch up on meeting notes. So, any questions?
No, I think that's good.
Awesome. Well, I thank you guys. I'm gonna get back
Thanks
to
a lot,
work.
Tommy. Appreciate the report.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
You too, man.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right, so normally for the newbies, we usually have our little, I guess, subcommittees that each give a little report on what they're doing and stuff. So Nate, why don't you go ahead and start? Well, you're second now since Tommy already went.
Yeah. So I guess I don't have much new to report besides what we talked about this morning and
Right.
writing up the different budget scenarios. Let's see. Scholarship checks. I coordinated with Rob and got those sent out last month. So one went to MSU and the other went to University of Montana. Yeah, and really that's pretty much it. So.
I'm sure we might have a couple more little side meetings, you know, just iron out what we need to do for the budget and try to do a policy for the CA, the conference or the communication associate type of thing. So we can get the budget, so we can get that, you know, try to get that approved by July. So. No, so far so good with the budget, I think.
I really appreciate you all meeting with me to get me up to speed on the budget and the fee changes. That was really nice for you guys, so I appreciate it.
Rob, you got anything?
Not much more than what Nate just shared. We got contacts at the universities. We're able to distribute the funds with the caveats of, you know, don't to distribute all the funds in the fall, so they have the money throughout the year. And that's it on that front. You know, I continue. You know, we had a short committee meeting and we're talking about the education grant, and we all agreed that we didn't put a ton of effort into it this year, like beating the bushes, just to see what would happen. You know, are people responsive to our calls for proposals? And the overwhelming answer is they're not. You know, and even in talking with teachers, you always hear that that's cool, I just don't have time for it. But I continue to beat the bushes, and I was at a Memorial Day party and I was like, oh, you're a teacher? Really? Cool. Let's talk about this. And I got some a potential lead there in Polson. And also I have this agreement with the University of Montana to do drone work for us. And they were up doing some stuff with Salish and Kootenai College earlier this month, and working with some professors up there. And I said, well, let them know that we have this scholarship or grant opportunity. And I just fired off an email to follow up on that. So I continue to try, and I find that, you know, making those connections is important. But yeah, so that's kind of what I have to share on that note.
Rob, what do you think about us upping the price of the scholarships? Adding $1,000 to that, or 800, or however, we were kind of thinking about doing that if we had that surplus in the budget.
I think we have a tenuous enough future ahead of us that I'm not in. Of course, I would be pleased to distribute that extra money, but you know, unless we make it like 10,000, we're really not making a huge dent in the educational budget of these students. But they are getting recognition.
Right.
And they're getting a little bit of a bump that way, and things of that nature. So I think the award benefits them in many ways that are potentially greater than just the amount of money. So if we're feeling flush, then sure, we could increase a little bit of that budget. But if things are uncertain, I would suggest, you know, making sure that we can pay our debts before we give the money away.
Well, good point. Good point.
Hey, Rob, I have a question.
Yeah.
Pardon my ignorance, but what sort of criteria do some of these teachers, I guess, do they need to teach like geography? Do they need to teach cartography in some aspect, or can it be like for instance, I do on the side, I teach a robotics club for a Lego league, and it'd be a bit of a stretch, you know. So I don't know, what kind of stretch can you guys make for that sort of grant application?
I think we can stretch it. We can stretch it, especially if you can come up with some kind of a geospatial angle to it. You know, maybe you're mapping all of the other robotics programs in the state. You know, and do a story map on that, and show, you know, who's won the most competitions, or, you know, who travels the farthest, or, you know, what's the density of competitors, or things of that nature, you know.
We just had a theme based on shipment of cargo, and I actually made some maps for a city outline and a buffer, and it was like totally relevant. And your buddy, I think, John Hoagland, he also did the same Lego League coaching. I don't know. I thought maybe if you would go out outside of the core curriculum, because I know teachers are taxed heavily with time constraints, and go into like extracurricular type things that our kids are into, that might be a more viable angle, because you got a lot of volunteerism where people have the spare time to maybe take that up. So I don't know.
I thank you, Aaron, for bringing that to the forefront, because I do think that is probably the primary way that we can have an influence there. In fact, John and his wife, Melissa, they did something of that nature. They put together a course for the Frenchtown school for the gifted and talented kids, you know. So these were still pretty young, but they had a special track there, and it was an after-school program. And he put together like this GIS analysis on where you might find gold in 9 Mile Creek, right? Based on topography and streams and stuff like that. And so they created this lesson, and we were on a track at one point to generate these lessons so that they could be reused by others. And all somebody had to do was say, I'll reuse that lesson, and they would get the grant. So we have some existing material, but I think, you know, putting a new spin on things, that would be excellent as well.
That
Yeah.
sounds really neat.
So keep it in mind. It's a great option, and, you know,
Well, and I think the pandemic's played a role in some of this too. Like, it seems like we had no problem filling those K through 12 scholarships probably prior to 2019, but you know, it's kind of just a recent trend that we've seen here. Is that about right there, Rob?
it sounds right in both cases. I know that teachers were struggling just to teach, you know, just to reach students on a daily basis. So to do something extra was really not in the cards. But even from professors for the higher education grant scholarship, you know, professors are at their wits' end, and they're saying, I can't get people to apply for free money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember at the Kalispell conference, because I think one of the grant recipients from the previous year out of Big Fork, they presented on some of the work that they did. It was so impressive. Like, even coming at it from then I was a student, but even probably a professional. Like, it was just impressive that this amount of work is being taught at the
Yeah.
I think
Well,
most of those
again,
cases at middle school
you know,
level.
you're totally right. Also the Big Fork, to recognize that's an after-school club as well.
Yeah, so is Lewistown. Lewistown is a geography club outside the school.
So that's kind of what it takes, right? Because people have already got their curriculum in place for the credits that they need to accumulate. So this generally comes from an outside source. And I do think that if through our meetups and things of that nature, just talking it up, I think that's probably the way to make those connections.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thanks, Rob. Any other questions for Rob? Thanks, Rob.
Hey, my pleasure.
Member Development Committee. Nothing new for you.
New in the position.
New in the position, yes, and I think we've come up with something for you being like more of the part of your job will be the well, not job, but you know, your duties would be to be a communication person to the focus person, the communication associate, be the person to talk to.
Yeah, the liaison.
Your kind of thing. So that's something I think that'll help out a great deal.
Yeah, one thing that Jason did comment about in his report, which he didn't have a technical committee report, but he made a comment about like the did you know emails. You probably remember the did you know stuff that Magip used to send out. So many years ago, we used to send these did you know emails out to members, and even maintain this website too, kind of, you know, highlighting the did you knows about Magip. But yeah,
I think that could be incorporated into the newsletter.
yeah,
Kind of thing, you know?
exactly. But yeah, it's just kind of, you know, just kind of promoting Magip incentives and reminders. You know, we even have like, you know, this request for assistance that most people don't even utilize too, you know, so.
Right.
And I think I was showing Mike, because Mike and I had met just to kind of get him caught up to speed on his committee. This is really popular around GIS Day, this request for assistance. And this is kind of all the type of assistance that we support. But I would imagine most, probably the most common one is the meetup support. But we've had requests obviously for like GISP support. I know Curtis DeVault, he had we essentially would write a letter back to the person, because a lot of times it comes into play for renewals.
Right.
It'll just highlight that person's accomplishments or their attendance at conferences or workshops they attended. So it's just because we keep record of all of that, so it's just
Almost like a
fun makeup.
letter of recommendation kind of thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
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 Yeah, because we even do it when they're applying for the application too. So.
Yeah, but he just recently, like, I think it was a couple months ago, basically,
Yeah,
he was renewing and he was requesting a new letter.
Okay, but yeah, I don't know if we've ever done like some of these other ones, like resume review and I don't even know what professional development is, but
Right.
yeah, some of the stuff, public policy, yeah, I almost need an education of what some of the stuff would be anyway, so. Yeah. So, I guess the profession, I just don't know what some of those things, it's just kind of other doors that they has to offer people,
Right.
And then, the job posting and resume page, that hasn't been maintained in years either. I didn't know we had one.
Yeah, I find it surprising that we have a page for that when everybody just posts on the listserv, really.
Yeah, so this is a resumes page. Yeah, resumes page. Yeah, I don't think we have a job postings for it, or a job posting. I still, I mean, especially if it was a, a public facing page and it wasn't behind our paywall, I think a job posting page would be utilized a lot. I do.
Job posting, yeah, well,
I
I think so, even though they put it on the listserv, yeah, they probably could.
Yeah, it's a collection of current jobs. I mean, there would be some maintenance behind it, like, okay, this job, but like right now, look how many jobs we have. MDT's got an opening, DNRC, they just recently closed, so you got to pull it off, but Stillwater County, Gallatin County has a GIS specialist position. Real dork, I keep track of these stuff internally, but.
Well, and then to look back through your emails is kind of
Yeah, exactly.
cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the contractors list. The contractors list is a good example, and I know Erin Fashway, she points people to this page all the time just because she can't recommend, just because we can't make maps for the public. But we can, point people to this page, like here's a contractor that could make a map for you or do a project, I know I used this list when I was still with Great Falls and I was looking for a vendor to do our to basically solicit our proposal to. So yeah, I mean, I think a page like this, but job posting.
Yeah,
Guys, do you think that the communication specialist could potentially man a job board like that?
I don't think that would be under that spot. I don't think that would fall under the communications. I think,
I'd jumpstart it though. I would volunteer. We just have to coordinate with Megan to get the page set up, and I
right,
think even down the road we can kind of automate it, and I think it would be popular, particularly if we get the word out that Makeup's got a dedicated page for postings. And, I think we would have to have some caveats where they'd have to be a Makeup member, someone within that organization would have to be a Makeup member. I would say, DNRC obviously is, MDT obviously is, Stillwater County is. So
Yeah. I mean, I think that could be automated to some extent if we could identify the different sites where these postings come up, right? And then we just correlate them on our page.
yeah. Well, and I can't remember who said it too. We could even charge a fee if, say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of probably like Haley's Amex, I think, or that Geospatial. I don't think any of them are Makeup members, but say they have a GIS developer position that they want to
right.
advertise. I mean, obviously they can post it to the listserv for free, but a $50 or $100 fee to have it posted on a job posting site like this. So
I mean, if it gets to that point, then we really need to have somebody monitoring that,
I just don't know how, yeah, I just don't know, yeah.
managing it, and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we need to talk to Megan for too. But, yeah, maybe, yeah, I would talk to Megan and.
I think it's one thing that we probably, especially since we'll have Jason back, you know.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Jason.
Put it on next month's agenda.
Yeah,
I know we initially had it for this month's, but I kind of knew some of our bigger discussions were gonna dominate the
Yeah.
time allotted, so.
yeah. Sounds good. Well, that's kind of what Jason's thing was.
Yeah, Jason didn't have a technical.
Right.
report, so.
And Michelle kind of gave her little report on what we did yesterday. So, Megan's not online. Eric, you got anything from Emily yet?
No, the meeting that we were supposed to have
Last week, right?
last week got canceled, so.
Any word on that getting renewed or?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just taken off the calendar and I don't think the email said, you know, when they'd reschedule. You know, I don't know if it's going to be rescheduled into, you know, in July now or August. I guess the next one is September 15th. So would be the next scheduled one. At least that's what's on my calendar. And they have that scheduled for the Grizzly conference room over at the state library. So, but yeah, no, there was nothing. I know that it was on the agenda to discuss the, you know, everything, but so we'll just go as status as usual, I guess. So.
Sounds good. And Tommy gave his and Michelle kind of gave hers already, but anything, where are we at on time here? You got about 5 minutes left. Anything else for anybody want to bring up that we didn't discuss today? So that was a pretty good meeting once all the quirks got settled. I thought it was a fairly good talk and everything. Anybody else got anything they want to bring up?
A lot less stressful for me since it ends running. Thanks, Mike, appreciate it.
You still are running it, but yeah.
At influence.
Yeah.
You still got the keys to the castle.
Anybody else? No? All right.
Oh, good.
Motion to adjourn.
I can motion to adjourn.
I know nothing.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All right. All right. So our next meeting's in July, July 19th. It'll be a virtual meeting, and then we have one in August, and then we got the retreat. So it'll be the 7th, or I'm aiming for the 14th, 15th. I will let you know if that changes or not. That's the plan anyway.
You said that was Thursday, Friday, or?
It's a Wednesday, Thursday.
Perfect.
Wednesday, Thursday, yes.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you for joining in, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
Right,
you.
good meeting.
Thank
You
you.
guys have a good
Thanks,
rest of your
Joe.
afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
You guys.
I might not be here for the 19th. I think my wife's either having surgery that